Hi everybody, it's Brad with Big Family Homestead, and in this video, I have heard your cries, I have heard your pleas and your requests, and I'm here to fulfill. We're gonna be making some Amish sweet white bread, and it's awesome, so let's get cracking. You bet, there is nothing quite like a light, fluffy, sweet Amish white bread. Oh my gosh, the smells that fill the house are divine, and you will be the hit of every party that you go to from now on if you bring some Amish sweet white bread. So, all that said, here we go. I'm gonna show you the ingredients, we're gonna cook it up, and then bammo, you're in bread heaven. Here we go. Okay, for ingredients. Now this recipe actually is going to make count them, 4 big old hunkin' awesome loaves. And so let's just start. Basically you've got 4 cups of warm water over there. You've got 1 1/3 cup of regular old plain white sugar. You've got 3, count them, tablespoons of yeast. We've got 3 teaspoons of salt, 1/2 cup of oil. And now this is the thing. This is between 10 and 12 cups of flour, and the reason why is when you'll see when we're making it that you're going to start out using 10 cups of flour, but based on your humidity and your situation you may need to add more. We're basically looking for a smooth dough when it's all said and done, not a sticky, wet, nasty piece of funkiness. So there you go. So my lovely bride Christa is going to be the hands in the dough bowl. Well, she's the one that makes the bread usually anyway. I'm kind of just here as the eye candy. Oh yeah. Okay, first things first. We're gonna go ahead and put our sugar and our warm water into our bowl and get it dissolved. Now, a note on this temperature. You want this water to be so warm that it's almost too hot to touch, but definitely not too cold, and definitely not hotter than it's hot enough to touch because you'll kill your yeast. And we want those wee beastie yeasties all happy and frothy. Now that our water and sugar are dissolved, in goes the yeast. Now, we kind of just lightly sprinkle this on the top, and the reason for that is you really don't want to overwork your yeast. Now, next thing, she's gonna go ahead and just give it a little something. Yeah. Now what you're gonna do is you're basically gonna let this activate. You're going to do what's called proofing your yeast, which is making sure it is proof positive that it is alive and kicking. So it'll start to get foamy here any second. Okay, so now you can see that our yeast is foaming up. It's alive! Yeah, so now we're ready to move on to adding our oil. Up next, in goes our oil. Give it a little stir. Give it a stir. Amish bread. Next up, we're gonna go ahead and start incorporating about half of our flour. And what we're looking for is we really just wanna get all the ingredients mixed up. The rest of the flour is going to be used to get it to the right consistency. But now before we actually start mixing it up, we're gonna add in our salt. Now we are ready to start the mixation. So take a look at this. This is with about half of our flour added, and clearly that is soup city. So we need to add more flour. Now this you're gonna kind of take it as, you know, basically you want to add enough, and you're looking for a dough that is not sticky but is nice and smooth. So you add a little bit, stir a little bit. Add a little bit, stir a little bit. All right, so now if you can check this out, I'm gonna zoom in. Here we go. When it gets to about a consistency like such a one, it's still not completely ready to rock, might be a little bit tacky. You're gonna go ahead and dump this out onto wherever you're gonna need this bread, so we're gonna roll it out right now. All right, now whatever surface you're gonna use to roll it out, you're gonna wanna go ahead and lightly flour down because you don't want it to be sticky, don't want it to be gloppy, and you're just gonna turn out your, well, currently unneeded dough. So here we go. Now a little bit of flour is gonna go on the top, and we're gonna start kneading away. Well, not me, but Christa. If I did it, it just would not. It would be really frightening. So kind of take note of how she's doing this. She kind of flips it around, pulls from the side to kind of wrap around on itself. And that really, really incorporates all of those ingredients together, so there's no funky spots that are just, you know, one ingredient. It really incorporates all of the stuff nicely. Now, after about 5 or 6-ish minutes, this is what you've got. Now, Chris is gonna show you. It'll be kind of spongy and it'll come back on you. That is what you're looking for. You've got the right consistency where it's not sticky and it will push back. So this is gonna go into a bowl. We are going to, at that point, just literally slap it in the bowl there, cover it with a wet rag, and we are gonna wait for it to rise. One note on the wet rag over the top of this whole beast is we like to use warm water. It kind of makes a nicer, humid environment in there for the wee beasties to do their thing. So now we're just gonna let that sit covered and rise for 1 hour. Now, for those of you who may have been watching earlier and thought to yourselves, man, that is a lot of sugar. And the answer is, yes it is, and yes it's worth it. So the hour has been waited, and now it's time to check out what we've got here. Look at that nice, big, beautiful dough. Light and fluffy and ready to be chopped up and weighed and put into dough pans. So let's get cracking. Next up, we're gonna go ahead and flour our work surface again. We're gonna flop this dough out there and we're gonna divide it up and put it into our dough pans. Just go ahead and do your thing, I'll speed it up. Now it's time to go ahead and divide this into equal parts. It does not have to be exact, but you can weigh it if you like. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't, but looks like we're weighing it today. One, two, three, 4 loaves. Oh yeah. All right, now next up, she's gonna go ahead and shape this in a way that will make a nice loaf. Now we're talking a regular loaf pan loaf. So she flips it over, flattens it out, and rolls it kind of like a log like that, and then she kind of puts it right into the old loaf pan. Check that out. Just like such. Now, the other 3 over here have a special purpose that I'm gonna tell you about right now. So the special purpose is this. My wife is awesome, and she actually makes the communion bread for our church, the actual communion elements, so that we bring those on Sundays and then they're blessed and that's what's served. So those loaves are actually made from this Amish white bread recipe, but she doesn't form them into the regular rectangle loaf pans. She puts them in these guys, so that makes a better looking presentation, and you can do it however you want, but we're gonna show you both. So here we go. Just a nice little loaf of love. Next, you're just gonna let those sit and rest and rise in their pans for 45 minutes. One little tip though that I wanted to show you is to scrape your counters clean and to get all that flour off, we use kind of an interesting little gizmo. This guy here, it's a paint scraper. You get them at the paint store. That one you can actually see, it almost says Sherwin-Williams still. But this is an ideal way to get all those little nibbly bits that are kind of crusty off of your counter. This works perfect. One quick note, make sure that you're gonna go ahead and cover these up with your moistened warm towelette thingies. You know how it rolls. Gotta keep them not dried out. Dried out's bad. Now we've waited our additional 45 minutes of rise time, and this is what we got. This is right. Now, into the oven at 350 degrees for 30 minutes. Here we go. All right, people, this has been in the oven for the 30 minutes, and I gotta tell you, brace yourself for impact, because I really wish you could smell what I'm smelling right now, because it is a smell that is smell-worthy and delightful. So, here we go. Woohoo! Oh yeah! If you could only smell this. It is so delightful. Oh, my Lanta. Important tip. Now you got to get these things out of the pans quickly while they're still hot. Use, the handy glove things so you don't burn yourself, because that'd be silly. But you got to get them out because they will get soggy and that's not good. So here we go. Hello, my pretties. Would you look at that? See, there you have it. Amish white bread. The one on the left, that's going to be a loaf bread. And like I said earlier, would you look at that for communion bread? That is just stinking amazingly awesome. We are going to get all kinds of crazy yummy up in our tummy right here, right now. All right, so we have labored and toiled and come through the wilderness to make amazing Amish sweet white bread. Look at this, look at that. That is just, wait, look at, oh, here. Is that not pretty? I gotta tell you what, that is ridiculous. And, oh my gracious, people. Light, fluffy, sweet, delicious, amazing. Let me tell you what, for those of you out here thinking, I can't bake, just follow the instructions. You can do this. This is within your reach. It's so good. I can't even tell you. It's nothing for us to go through, 2 loaves a day because it's so good at our house. Anyway, there you have it. You can do this, people. Try it. Let me know in the comments below. Yeah, I did it. I didn't think I could, and then blah, blah, blah. Come on, let me hear it. Let me hear it. So anyway, Brad with Big Family Homestead, please share the video around. Hit share, put it on Pinterest and all that kind of stuff. Greatly does help our family out. I'm Brad, Big Family Homestead. You guys have an amazing day.